Hi, my name's Rex Lewis, and I'll be your host today for HTH Engineering Incorporated's webinar on streamlining your workflow through the use of templates and macros. We'd really like to welcome you and hope that you find this a profitable, a helpful webinar. Before we get started on actually demonstrating things, I do want to clarify a little bit of terminology that's going to be used in more than one way during the course of the webinar. One of those things is the term template. Dragon has templates and other programs have templates, and they don't necessarily mean the same thing. When Dragon uses the term templates, when Nuance uses the term templates in regard to Dragon, they are referring to generally blocks of text that get inserted on command. So that it could be a single phrase, it could be pages worth of text that all you have to do is speak a simple command and the text you want gets inserted in the document at the point of the cursor, wherever your blinking cursor happens to be. But when Microsoft Word refers to a template, they have something a little different in mind. And I'm going to use Word today, and so I wanted you to understand what Word means. This is really the more common use of template because templates are used in word processors and spreadsheets and presentations and things like that, and that has similar meanings there. It's really mainly Dragon that has a slightly different meaning to it, or to excuse the humor, a slightly different nuance to it. When Microsoft Word uses the term template, they're talking about more than just text. They're talking about this white area here represents a sheet of paper that would print out if I printed the document. You're looking at a Microsoft Word template. What? There's nothing there. Well, this is their default template, or their normal template as they call it. It is the template that determines how far in from the edge of the paper the left margin is, and the right margin, and the top margin, and the bottom margin. It is the template that determines what fonts are used by default for your text. It is the template that determines whether you have a graphic up here and today's date and your company name and address. All kinds of things can be built into a template so that whenever you need to, you can open a fresh copy that you're going to then modify by adding information or whatever to make it the document that you want to have. So there are slight differences between the meaning of the word template for Dragon and the meaning of the word template for Word, and I'm going to be using both. And I'll try to keep straight, I'll try to point out each time I use it which type of template I'm talking about. Another word is field. We're going to use the word field a couple times in today's lesson. And Dragon has its kind of fields, and Microsoft Word has other kinds of fields. And so I'll try to point out to you the difference between the two, and you'll see a little bit about how they can be used, although Word has, dozens and dozens and dozens of different types of fields. And so there's no way I can show you an exhaustive thing today of what the fields are that Word has available, but you'll get kind of a taste for some of the things that you can do with Microsoft Word fields. So without further ado, I want to show you, first of all, the use of a Dragon template in this Microsoft Word document. Wake up. My BP advice, go to sleep. You can see how long would it take the average person to type out that information. It could take a little while, especially if you're somebody who's, like a 1 or 2 finger typist, although I've seen some of those that can really fly. But some people just don't type that quickly. If that describes you, and most people can't type that quickly, you can save a lot of time in your dictation by creating these templates in Dragon, so that you just speak the word and out comes a block of text. And you can do variations so that you have a template for when everything's normal, and a template for when there's systolic ejection murmur in the heart, and another one when there's ventricular fibrillation possible, or whatever. I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one very well on the internet. But just to give you the idea that you can put together variations on a theme, so to speak, by creating a number of different templates. But when you have a template that's, let's say, a letter to a doctor, a referring physician, or something like that, where much of the information is going to be the same, you may want to start using Microsoft Word templates because you can do so much more in the way of layout. For instance, let me use Dragon to open up a new Microsoft Word template. The doctor's name and slogan, business slogan up there. It's got today's date. It's got some graphics. All that thanks to the power of my word processor, Microsoft Word. It's got this skeleton of, it's got most of the text in here that I want, but it's got something else going for it. It has Microsoft Word fields being used. Now, some of them have already been used. That's why we have today's date. Microsoft Word has the ability to put in dates and times and things like that automatically using its fields. But I have other fields that are sprinkled throughout this document that you can't see at the moment, but you can see down here under General. Blank is a pleasant person, well-dressed and oriented ×3. Blank denies any pain in the left hand or wrist. There are actually invisible things buried there that are Microsoft Word fields. And Word is going to stop me and ask me questions so that it will know what to put in those fields. So let's fill in the answers and just see what happens. Wake up. March 4th, 2014. Click OK. Mr. Click OK. David. Click OK. Johansson. Click OK. September 3rd, 1992. Click OK. Go to sleep. Now you can see this document beginning to take shape. Mr. Johansson's name has suddenly appeared in various places throughout the document. One place you're not going to see those changes happen right away, although they did happen, is up in the header. The header does not update instantly. It updates when you save the document. It updates if you print the document. It updates if you do a print preview. Now, for the sake of showing you what I'm talking about, I'm just going to go over here and choose print and then go right back to my document, and suddenly we have patient name Mr. David Johansson, date of birth September 3rd, 1992, and the date of exam March 4th, 2014. The data there is now filled in. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of the power of Microsoft Word fields, and this has been to a great degree brought under the power of Dragon to use voice commands to both trigger the filling of the fields and actually to fill them with information as I dictated in the information. So that can shave some time off of your dictation, and especially if you're not a real fast typist. But now there's some other data that I need to fill in. That's data pertaining to this particular visit. I have Dragon fields in here as well. Those are slightly different. They act as kind of landing pads, so to speak, where you can hop, skip, and jump through the document and fill in particular information. The these are handy when the information only needs to appear one time in the document rather than numerous times like Mr. Johansson or something like that. But let's fill those in and show you a little bit about how they work. You can see them in the general section down here at the bottom. I have two of them. One of them has gender, and the other reminds me that one reminds me that I'm filling it with a gender, and the other I can see from the context that it's dealing with the age. So I'm just going to say to Dragon, wake up. I forgot to pause before I said wake up, and wake up. Next field, male. Next field, 22. Select male. Choose one. Go to sleep. And there you got an example of how you can correct errors with Dragon using your voice. But as you can see, you can hop, skip, and jump through the document by putting just those square brackets in the master copy of the document. Those square brackets are just to the right of the letter P on your keyboard, and they're not anything special like the word fields that are invisible coding that goes into your document. They're not hard to create. The word ones aren't real hard to create either. You just need to know where to find them. But these are very simple to create just by putting in those square brackets. And that immediately becomes a landing place for Dragon to obey the next field command. Or if you have a power mic or a speech mic, you can program a button to jump you through them. So that gives you hopefully gives you some ideas as to how you can use Dragon and your word processor together to accomplish things and to save you time, because really that's what we're after here. In today's environment of medicine, doctors are having to see more and more patients per day, and they're having to spend more and more time documenting what happened with those patients. This can help you save some time. And the Dragon templates can be used, as I mentioned, almost anywhere that your cursor goes. So if you're using an EMR, you can use them there. If you're using your word processor, you can use them there. And whereas the Microsoft Word ones are limited to use in Microsoft Word. So we've got our letter generated, but there is one thing more I need to put in this letter, and I'm just doing this to show you that you can combine the use of Dragon's templates within the Microsoft Word template. Wake up, go to the end, new line, 120 dedicated, go to sleep. So you can insert those anywhere in the template, just like you can type in any Microsoft Word template. You have the total freedom to use your voice just as you could use your keyboard. So, having looked at that, there really is basically one other thing I wanted to show you, and that is how you can use templates within your EMR possibly. Want to take you right now to this thing here. I don't have access to an EMR, so I've created a little thing that is for supposed to look a little bit like something you'd find in an EMR. It's looking for the height, weight, body mass index, systolic, diastolic temperature, beats per minute, and respiration for this patient on this visit. The BMI, I actually took this idea here from Practice Fusion, and when you enter in the height and weight, the BMI is calculated automatically, so you don't even go into that field. You can't go into that field. And I just set this up as a way to show you how you can use templates to fill things in. Some Practice Fusion users have called me with issues regarding text that gets duplicated when jumping from one field to the next here. If they put in the height, then they go to the weight field and state the weight, it combines it puts the height in the height field, but when it gets to the weight field and you say the weight, it combines the height number and the weight number into one number and puts that in the weight. Only certain customers are having that kind of a problem, and we don't know what's causing it for them. But I've worked this out as a way to work around that using Dragon templates. So because by creating these templates the way I am, Dragon is simulating keystrokes, which avoids, hopefully avoids the issue of the duplication. So here's how we can do that. Wake up. Dragon height 66. Dragon weight 143. Dragon BP 135 over 96. Dragon temp 99.3. Dragon heart rate 113. Dragon respiration 65. Go to sleep. Now, as you see, all I did was create a template that or a macro actually that would I would just speak the word drag, actually a series of macros where I would just say the word dragon, identify what item I'm wanting to fill in and what the value is, and it not only put the value in, but it also tabbed me to the next field. And in the case of the weight, it tabbed me over the BMI field into the systolic field. It carried that out twice. So rather than me having to click the cursor in each place or press tab in each place, it became a part of my dictation and just jumped from one to the other. To give you a better illustration of that, of what you can do with templates and macros, maybe you have something in your EMR where you enter a code number and it fills in some details, but then you also have to fill in additional details. I wanted to show you, as I finish up the demonstration of macros and templates, I wanted to show you a little bit of an example here by bringing up, this is actually QuickBooks Online. Like I said, I don't have access to an EMR, and so I'm just going to pretend that someone has placed an order for one of our products. It's called Start Stop Universal, and I created a macro that allows me to fill in the sales information and gets me ready for some additional information that needs to be added. So I'm going to say to Dragon, wake up, cell 5 universal, go to sleep, and that quickly it put in our item number. This fills in automatically from QuickBooks. It updated the quantity because I told it that there were 5 that were being sold. The rate filled automatically and was calculated automatically, and then came around here. This is where a second thing that we need to add whenever we sell this product, so that we can record a registration code that allows them to actually make use of the product. It's a kind of a security feature. And so all of that filled in automatically just from Cell 5 Universal. You may be able to develop that kind of thing with certain areas within your EMR. And we do offer training. Now, this would get into, if you really need some in-depth training in this area, we do need to charge for that on an hourly basis. but the basics of templates and macros, the basic ideas and concepts of how to create them is something that we try to train you in at the beginning and work with you to understand enough to do some basic macros and templates. So that's kind of an overview of templates and macros and some of the ways you can speed up your workflow. I want to go over with you just a little bit before we finish up here about HTH Engineering Incorporated. HTH Engineering Incorporated is a true engineering company offering customized programming and customized products that can range from the small to large things. We offer pretty much anything that you might need in regard to digital dictation and digital transcription, whether that's Dragon products or digital voice recorders or call-in recorders, transcription equipment so that you can listen to your digital recordings with foot pedal control, a lot of different products to help you with your digital transcription and dictation needs. We are certified partners with Olympus, Elite Dragon Medical Partners, and a certified Master Digital Center for Philips Speech Processing. You can contact us by phone at 866-254-0714, or you can find us on the web at http://www.startstop.com. That's www.startstop.com. We hope you've enjoyed today's presentation on the use of templates and macros in Dragon. We thank you for coming, and we'll see you next time.